Hello world, hello world. How you guys doing? Listen, I am here again. We have another great entrepreneur that we are interviewing on today, guys. Look, you guys have seen this gentleman in with me before. We have done some great things together over the course of a few years of knowing each other. I am honored to have him to be interviewed on today because he's just an amazing person of Christ, and he has a lot of accolades as well. And don't mind the gray hair that you may see. That's wisdom, baby. That's wisdom. So, guys, listen, help me welcome to the stage my very own brother, Mr. John McClung Jr. Sir, how are you doing?
My man, Dr. Pitts, you know what's so cool? It's cool to have a hype man that actually knows you, man. I'm honored, man, to be part of of course, this experience, which I've seen grow over the last couple of years, man. So thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely, brother. And listen, for those that do not know, last year, John was actually one of the speakers to introduce the winner of a particular category for the award show. So, all of these entrepreneurs, guys, when they see things that takes fruition, at some point they say, okay, hey, I now want to be a part of it. So I'm honored to have John. And that's a great segue, John. Just kind of tell everybody who you are, sir, and what it is that you do.
Man, listen, I am John McClung Jr. I am the owner of I Am a Testimony apparel brand. I'm AKA the chaplain because I am a chaplain. I'm also a book publisher as well as a best-selling author, international speaker. Man, I have a few other things that go along with those dots, but my baby is the apparel brand. Entrepreneur, husband, father, and truly a man that has been in ministry for more than 50 years.
Absolutely. So, guys, listen, if you guys want, make sure that you guys go vote for John. We're going to have the link in the comment section for you guys to kind of go and vote for him. He is in the e-commerce space. As you guys can see, his backdrop is I Am a Testimony Apparel. That is his own clothing brand, his own clothing line. What I love about John, as you can see, he wears his brand. When you wear your brand, you believe in your brand. And as you can see, he has his sweatshirt on right now, and it says I'm a testimony right there. So guys, this is what it's all about when you are somebody who is trying to push your brand to the masses, John, which is a great segue into my first question. When did you know you wanted to become an entrepreneur?
I think maybe as a young person, but I didn't know what it was. In high school, one of the first things, it's interesting that in high school, I was in apparel and didn't know I was in apparel. I was the first to do authentic designs for Letterman jackets, where embroidery was involved. And this was in the 80s. But I had no clue what that was from a standpoint of going into entrepreneurship. It was just a mere fact that I knew a lot of individuals in the sports, and in that time, sports, Letterman jackets was the thing. Usually it was patches and little things like that. And I found a individual that was a friend of mine that was an artist. And I was the first one to actually have a authentic design done in embroidery on my Letterman jacket. And when I came to school and wore it for the first time, man, people, everybody went crazy, especially the guys in football and basketball. And I started having designs done and getting individuals their jackets with embroidery. And I was getting paid to do it and still didn't understand that I was an entrepreneur at that time. So it's been interesting, man, for the journey, because over the years, I think probably the last maybe 14 or 15 years, I've really recognized that I could actually be that. And then I started the apparel brand in 2011, maybe I should say 2009, because the Lord placed it in me, and I physically started it in 2011.
Man, guys, listen, it goes to show you that there is no time limit on when to start, right? I think you just gotta put it into your mind and your body and your soul to say, hey, I'm gonna do this thing. I'm gonna start this thing. I'm gonna get it done, right? So appreciate that, John, for you sharing that with us. Next question is, who is your biggest inspiration as an entrepreneur?
Oh man, that's easy. That was my father. My father was from my birth, a pastor, and the pastor is an entrepreneur. Although he had a balance initially, he was doing both. He was working for the government. He was a postal man, and then also a pastor at the same time. And then he went pastoral work 100% of the time. And I watched his work ethic, and I watched him build a ministry from the ground up physically, where he actually went to a plot of land and drew what it was going to look like as far as a church building, and built it from the ground up. And it's been there for 58 years now. And so all the things that he did up until him passing were all based on his ministry, which was his entrepreneurship and all the other things that he touched from a standpoint of business. And so to actually see that up close, and I also got a chance to see that with my uncles as well. I had an uncle that was in construction for 40 years and worked with him. His son became, took over for him. And I had another uncle who built in Montgomery, he built a church from the ground up, and it took him 16 years to do it.
Wow.
By himself, brick by brick, and maybe a few other people in certain areas. So my other uncle was a plumber. He had his own plumbing business. So in our family, in the DNA, pretty much most of my family members were entrepreneurs. I had an aunt that had her own printing shop in her house and did like all kind of places. So I used to work with her when I would go to Detroit for the summertime. So I think that's all I knew, man. But I at that time didn't know how to apply it. But here's the thing, too. In that section, when I moved to Detroit in 1984, 2 years after I moved to Detroit, I started my own DJ service, and I had a DJ service for 20 years. So I was an entrepreneur.
Wow.
I started from the ground up, not knowing, kind of knowing about music, but I built it up and had that service until I decided to give it up when music got crazy. But so I was an entrepreneur even there.
Man, look, that's what I'm talking about. Listen, having an inspiration is so important, guys. And I'm glad that, John, a lot of people just don't have that story, man, of, having that family to look up to that is doing it or has done it, and setting that example. And I think that that's one of the reasons why entrepreneurship has always and will forever be a thing, is because it allows people like us to leave a legacy for people to look at, right? Or and now we're so broad with it, and because we know that there are so many dysfunctional families, somebody can look up to you or me or all of these other entrepreneurs that are being interviewed and said, if they did it, I can do it, right? True. So that's definitely important. John, tell us next question. Sorry guys. Next question that I have is, what do you find most challenging about being an entrepreneur?
I'm going to say consistency, because it's difficult to be consistent from a standpoint of your ups and downs. You're going to have more moments. I wrote something yesterday. The best thing is to make your first mistake, because after you make your first mistake, you know that you're capable of making mistakes. So you can learn from each one of them. And as an entrepreneur, you make a lot of mistakes. Man, in the apparel business, I tore up a lot of shirts from a standpoint of not printing right, not understanding it. And so in your journey, if you are fearful of making a mistake, you're going to have some challenges. But if you understand that during the course of making them, and you get better and getting better, and then you begin to learn more, because again, there's a statement that there's nothing, of course you can have losses, but you should have learning instead of losses. And so that to me, is one that in consistency, it allows you to go. Think about you, Kaz. Since we've been in a business relationship and personal relationship as far as friends, the amount of years that you've been going at what you are doing shows how consistent you have been, as well as myself and any other entrepreneur who has done it for years. You may have some instant entrepreneurs or that might have the one-hit wonder or whatever it might be. But, there is a difference when someone has done it year after year after year, despite whatever is going on in life. They are still doing what they are passionate about, what they envision, and the dream that they have. And it's not always monetary responses as far as the success. It's just the mere fact that you consistently worked and worked and worked at it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And guys, I think that's a powerful response, because that has been a lot of challenges. And I think it's almost 80. It's safe to say that 80% of entrepreneurs that do this, the level of consistency is not there, which is the reason why they hop off, they hop back on, they hop off, they hop back on. For me, it was like, I'm so knee deep in. I started when I was 7. I'm 39 now. I'm accustomed to it, right? It's like I got married to it by default. Consistency just dove into my life, right? But I do believe that you made a great point. Starting out, if this is your first time, or if you're trying to expand, or you're trying to grow, the key to being successful is persistency and consistency. Those two elements have to be leveled up. Those two attributes is the better term for it. Those two attributes have to be leveled up. So what advice am I giving you? Study how to be more consistent, and study how to be more persistent, right? Yeah. That's where you should really start at if you want to be in this industry long term. So John, last question, brother. And you're the first one that I asked this question to, since we've been doing the interviews this year. If John McClung Jr. had to start all over again and do it differently, sir, how would you do that differently, or what would you do differently if you had to start all over again?
The first thing I would do is remove self-doubt, because again, people will see all that potential in you before you do, and they will try to bring you into the opportunities. And in most cases, we get in our own way from a standpoint of not believing we can do it. I can remember when at the age of 18 or 19, there was a gentleman that I used to work with that was a part of Amway at the time, so, it was multi-level marketing, whatever it might've been at that time. And he saw this great potential based on the work that we were doing, because I was working at the airport. But man, I was scared as I don't know what, because I didn't believe whether or not I could talk to people. Now, mind you, I come out of a talking family, but at the same time, my self-doubt got in the way of some great opportunities that I believe would have changed the trajectory of my life. Now, that's not to say that where I'm at is bad, it's because it's not. But I know that had I believed just a little bit more in certain circumstances, the level of opportunity that I would have to touch a tremendous amount of people would have excelled. So I would say anybody, don't self-doubt yourself. Believe enough in you and have a faith enough that you are equipped with everything that you need to accomplish that which you dream, that which you have passion about, that which you envision. Because again, there is no fruit that doesn't have multiple seeds in it. And so those seeds allow you to be equipped to do things bountifully. And the only way that it doesn't create bounty is if you never plant the seed.
Absolutely. And you guys heard it here. Listen, hey, that self-doubt thing is real, right?
It's real, bro.
It's real, like for real. I will say that I'm not going to say that I never struggled with it. I've always pushed myself in certain areas. And I think that what you guys got to also understand too is that identify what's your strength and what's your weakness, right? Because if you are just that kind of individual, maybe you need to put somebody in position that can execute for you, right? That's where the art of delegation comes in at. So until you get to a place where you start to level up that attribute of self-doubt and increase it in that area, but don't allow it to delay you, right? Put somebody in that place and in that position, and it'll help mold you to be better in that particular attribute area about removing that self-doubt, because a lot of that comes with the art of failure, of thinking that it's going to fail you. And failure doesn't mean that it's over, right? It just means that you need to reposition and be redirected. That's it. So John, brother, listen, man, you have done an amazing job of giving us a little bit of piece of who you are and what you do, sir. Do us a favor, tell everybody, how do they stay connected with John McClung Jr.? How is it that they they follow you and support you in the things that you're doing?
One of the two easiest ways is to just look up John McClung Jr. Even if you Google me, there'll be a few things that come up to show who and what I do and what I've been associated with. My Instagram is I am a testimony. Anything that you see that says I am a testimony, I will come up, or will connect you to Facebook. Facebook is John McClung Jr. LinkedIn is John McClung Jr. Again, Instagram is I am a testimony. The apparel brand is I am a testimony. And so anything that is associated with that, I show up under either my real name or I am a testimony, because people call me Mr. I am a testimony.
Absolutely. And guys, listen, again, the link is in the comment sections already. Make sure that you guys go and vote for John McClung Jr. He is definitely going to need your votes. He is in the e-commerce industry. So he needs to win this award. And of course, the overall winner gets $10,000 invested into their business. So that's also a great opportunity for these entrepreneurs to expand and grow their businesses as God sees fit. So make sure that you guys go and vote for John McClung Jr. John, brother, thank you again for your time. Absolutely. We as people appreciate you, brother. Thank you for sharing your life to us just a little bit. Any last words you want to leave with the people before you go?
Yeah, if I was to leave anything within an individual, it's always going to be associated with the brand. When you speak of, when you speak of I am a testimony, there's a testimony in each and every one of us, and it's extremely important. The meaning of this particular brand is to actually have someone see you or adorn the brand so that you can share your story with them, and they can share your story with you, with yourself, or you can share your story with them. And so, one of the taglines is for the brand is, it's the brand that speaks to your deliverance.
There you go. There you go. I love it, brother. Well, John, brother, thank you so much again, brother. We appreciate you, man. And listen, good luck on this journey of the award show. They asked, when is the award show, Dr. Pitts? July 27th, guys. July 27th. Red carpet starts at 6 o'clock. We're already working out all of the kinks, and the sponsors are coming aboard. We just got another onboarded sponsor. So, guys, listen, just if I was you, get your outfits ready. If you're not going to be a part of the show, get your outfits ready. No, you're not going to dress better than me, and that's okay. Just get your outfits ready for the show.
It's a great show too. Man, the first one was amazing.
Yes, sir. Well, John, thank you again for your time, brother. We appreciate you, man, and we look forward to seeing you soon, sir.
All right, my friend. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, listen, that's it, man. Look, that's what it's about. Exposing entrepreneurs to platforms to be recognized. You guys didn't know who John McClung Jr. was, but now you know who he is, right? So make sure that you support him. Don't just vote for him. Go check out his website, check out some of his apparel, shop with him, right? I think that us as entrepreneurs need to do more of that, where we are helping one another out. You don't know how far it goes of purchasing something from John, whether it be a t-shirt or a sweatsuit or whatever the case may be. That's more dollars that comes into his household to be able to change whatever's going on in his life. So make sure that you guys go and support all of the entrepreneurs that have been interviewed. But specifically on today, it's about John McClung Jr. Make sure that you guys go and vote for him. Guys, listen, that is the interview. You guys already know the quote, right? But before I leave you with that, for those of you that are entrepreneurs and you're saying, Dr. Pitts, how do I be a part of this platform? If you go to myempireevents.com, you will be able to then hit the submit button to submit your thing. Guess what? I got a tip for you. We're going to put it in the group the comment section. If you type in the coupon code take off, all lowercase, TAKEOFF, and hit the apply button, it will drop the vendors tables and the tickets to submit your entrepreneurship by 50%, right? By 50%. So we had an entrepreneur today that came in. We had a few entrepreneurs yesterday that actually came in, on that coupon code. It's for the month of February, the whole month of February. So after that, the prices go right back up to the normal price. So for the month of February, you guys got the opportunity to submit to be a part of this amazing opportunity. So other than that, now allow me to leave you with the quote. Coming together is the beginning. Sticking together is progress, but working together is success. My name is Dr. Casual Pitts, and I'll see you guys on the next interview for an entrepreneur. Peace.